One day, out in San Diego, or maybe it was Hawaii, I can't remember, it was so long ago, there were two brothers that were playing on the rocks by the ocean. And in the rocks, they were finding little sea creatures. They were finding beautiful little rocks and little corals and sea anemones of all different colors, purples and reds and pinks and blues. And they would poke the sea anemone, and the sea anemone would pull back. And they would find little red shrimp, spotted shrimp. And it was wonderful as each day after school, they would go down to the ocean and climb all over the rocks, and walk through the little tidal pools to discover what was out there. It was always sunny and warm, and they had their shorts on. And one day, the littler boy, his name was Jordan, he was 5 years old, he was climbing over the rocks when he saw something out in the ocean jump up in the air and do a flip. And he said to his big brother, who was 10 years old, named Oliver, he said, "Oliver, did you see that?" And Oliver had his face really close to a tidal pool, and he was inspecting those little gulper fish that crawl along the bottom. And Oliver looked up, didn't see anything, and looked back down. And the next thing you know, this thing jumped up in the air and did a big flip and a splash so loud. And Jordan said, "Did you see that? Did you see that?" Oliver didn't even pay attention because he was looking at these tiny little fish. So Jordan just sat down, hung his feet over this rock, and he just watched as this big fish, he couldn't tell if it was a whale or a great white shark or a dolphin, what it was. But right off, probably about 200 yards away from where he was sitting, this sea creature was jumping up in the air and doing this jump, flip. The next thing you know, an octopus crawls, reaches one of his tentacles on Jordan's leg and taps his leg. And Jordan freaks out. He pulls his leg back. He says, "Oh my gosh, what was that?" And Oliver is not paying attention at all. So Jordan looked down and he could see this, not a very big octopus. Maybe it was about as long as your arm. And the octopus reached one of his arms out of the water to tap Jordan's leg. And Jordan looked into the water, and there the octopus was with big black eyes looking up at him. It was all pink, absolutely beautiful. And Jordan loved octopuses. He's like, "This is my favorite animal." So he looked down a little bit closer, and the octopus lifted up two hands, two of his tentacles, up and out of the water, kind of straight up, like, "Come here, look at this." And then Jordan looked out in the ocean about 200 yards away, and here this fish is out there. We didn't know if it was a fish like a shark, or if it was a mammal like a dolphin, or a small killer whale doing flips. And here he's got this octopus at his feet right down there. So the octopus starts to crawl up the rock, and Jordan doesn't know what to do with this octopus there. And the octopus says to him, "Jordan, you see that fish out there?" And Jordan looks over, slowly turns his head and looks back at his brother Oliver. And he looks back at the octopus. And the octopus says, "Yeah, I'm talking to you. Do you see that fish out there?" And Jordan doesn't know what to do. He nods his head slowly and whispers, "Yeah." And the octopus says, "Well, why don't you go out there and swim with it?" And Jordan looks at the octopus like the octopus can't be talking to him. He says, "Because I'm 5 and I don't know how to swim. And why are you talking to me?" And he looks over at his brother, and Oliver's got his face right close to this tidal pool, and he's not paying attention to anything but what he's doing. He's completely focused on these little gulper fish. And the octopus starts to come out of the rock a little bit, and he goes, "You're not going to scream, right?" Jordan shakes his head. "Are you talking to me?" And the octopus, he says, "Yeah, man, come on, get a grip. I'm talking to you. I want to get an answer from you. You see that big fish out there?" And Jordan goes, "Yeah." And the octopus says, "I'm going to tell that fish to come over here so you could sit on its back and go for a ride." And Jordan's like, are you talking to me? And the octopus says, oh man, you've got to get a grip. Seriously. You have got, come on, man. Can I touch you without you freaking out? And Jordan goes, ooh, you're going to touch me? Are you gooey? And the octopus says, of course I'm gooey, man. I don't have a bone in my body. I'm an octopus. I'm all gooey. I can go in tiny little holes. But I want to tell you something. Can I come up there without you freaking out? And Jordan looks back at Oliver and goes, okay. So the octopus climbs up the rock, climbs up to Jordan's leg real slowly, climbs up his leg, and Jordan's got this octopus on his leg. The octopus kind of comes up a little bit and says, octopus says, I got to tell you something. I've been seeing you guys come out here all these days, and I've been meaning to talk to you because I know you like the sea creatures and whatnot, but you seem kind of skittish and scared and whatnot. Can you just relax? Are you remembering to breathe? And Jordan was like, oh, right. And the octopus said, relax, man. Come on, did you come down here to have fun or to freak out, have a heart attack? And Jordan says, I never talked to an octopus. And the octopus says, yeah, but there's probably a lot of things you haven't done, right? And Jordan goes, yeah. So the octopus says, look, I'm going to tell that fish to come over here, and you go for a ride on that fish. And Jordan's like, how can you get that fish to come over here? So the octopus goes, wait right here. Don't tell your brother, because I want to shock your brother and scare the crud out of him, okay? And Jordan's like, well, okay. So the octopus goes back down Jordan's leg, goes back down the rock, into the water. Jordan looks into the blue ocean, can't see a thing. And next thing you know, the fish that's out there stops jumping up in the air. Jordan doesn't think about it. He's like, that was something crazy. And just as he's about to turn back, get up and turn back and go talk to his brother, the octopus comes back, and it's sitting on the back of a dolphin. The dolphin pokes his gray nose out of the water, and the dolphin says, you want to go for a ride? And Jordan's like, are you talking to me too? And the dolphin said, yeah, I'm talking to you. You want to go for a ride? And then Jordan's like, and the octopus says, come on, man. Get on the back of the dolphin. You're going to love this. And Jordan's like, am I going to drown? And the octopus said, oh my gosh, are you kidding? Come on, get out here. And Jordan says, what about sharks? And Dolphin goes, don't say that word. Don't say the shark word. If we see a shark, we're going to go super fast, call my friends, and we'll get the shark out of there. So Jordan's like, okay. So Jordan climbs down a little bit, closer to the water, and the octopus gets off the back of the dolphin, and Jordan gets onto the dolphin and holds onto the dorsal fin, and the dolphin starts swimming around, left and right and up and down, and Jordan's cracking up. He just can't believe he's on the back of a dolphin, and he looks back, and on the back behind him is the octopus. And the octopus has got like 3 of his tentacles on Jordan's back, and the other 5 are holding on to the dolphin. And the octopus is like, isn't this awesome? He says, I get to do this every day, man, every day. And Jordan's like, I can't believe I'm doing this. I just can't believe this. The dolphin says, you want to do a flip? And Jordan's like, am I going to fall off? And the dolphin's like, well, I don't know. If you fall off, I'll come and get you. And Jordan's like, okay. So the dolphin swims down into the water. Jordan holds his breath, and he swims back up and goes way out of the water, and he does a flip. And Jordan's cracking up. He's going to wet his pants. He's having so much fun. The octopus is holding on to Jordan, and Jordan's going for a ride on a dolphin. Next thing you know, 3 other dolphins come over, and they all start talking to each other. And Jordan's like, I can't believe this. All these sea creatures, they talk. And the octopus says, don't believe what everybody tells you. We're not stupid. We all talk. Everything talks under the ocean. All the animals talk. Don't believe what everybody tells you. And so the dolphins are like, hey, let's play a game. Let's see who can jump up the highest. And the dolphin with Jordan on the back goes, okay, but I'm keeping Jordan on my back. And the octopus says, I'm going to go jump on, and he points to another dolphin. He says, I'm going to jump on your back. And so they all, okay, great. So they all swim down. Jordan holds his breath. Next thing you know, one dolphin goes up in the air, jumps out of the water like 5 feet. The next dolphin jumps out of the water like 7 feet. And the dolphin that Jordan's on goes out of the air like 10 feet up in the air, comes smashing down. And Jordan's just laughing like crazy. The dolphins are laughing like crazy. And the next thing you know, the octopus is tapping Jordan on the back. And he's like, what? And he goes, I think we're in trouble. And Jordan's like, what? What do we do? Is there a shark? He's like, the dolphins are like, don't say shark. We never say that word. We don't say the shark word. Come on. No, your brother's over there and he's looking for you. And so the dolphin goes, hang on a second. I'll bring you over there. And all the dolphins are like, no, we'll all go over there. And the octopus is like, are you going to get in trouble? Jordan's like, I don't think so. So they all swim over there, and the dolphins have their noses poking out of the water, and Jordan's sitting on the back of a dolphin. And one of the dolphins says to go closer to where Oliver is, and Oliver goes, what are you guys doing, my brother? And the dolphin says, we're going for a swim. Come on, jump in. And Oliver says, are you talking to me? And the dolphin's like, oh, man, we're not going through this all over again. And then the octopus is like, come on, don't do that. And Oliver says, wait, are you an octopus and are you talking to me? And they're all like, oh, boo-hoo, man. You thinking that animals are stupid and you're treating us like a bunch of dumb animals? Jump in the water and let's go have some fun. And Oliver's like, what about the sharks? And they're like, oh my God, these people and their sharks. Are you crazy, man? Would you quit saying the word shark? The next thing you know, a good-sized killer whale comes up, pokes its head out of the water, and says to the dolphins, hey, what are you guys up to? And Jordan goes, is that a killer whale? And Oliver says, Jordan, you better get out of there. That's a killer whale. And they eat people. And the killer whale's like, oh, man, that's messed up. We don't eat people. What kind of person would say something horrible like that? So Oliver's like, well, are we safe here? And the octopus is like, what do you mean? Why do people always think everything in the water is bad? You fish for us and you kill us and you eat us and you do all this horrible stuff. Of course it's good to come in here. So Oliver's like, all right. And so the killer whale says, why don't you get on my back? And so Oliver's like, seriously? And he's like, yeah, we're going to go have some fun. Next thing you know, the orca, the killer whale, and the 4 dolphins with Jordan on the back, and the other dolphin with the octopus on his back, they're swimming around out in the water, and they're having fun. They're doing jumps, and they're splashing. And the next thing you know, Oliver says, he sees the sun going down. He says, we got to go back. We got to go back home, or our parents will come out here and get us. And the dolphins are like, let's not do that. Whatever you do not tell your parents that you talk to sea creatures. They'll come out here and call the police, and they'll catch us, and they'll put us in SeaWorld. And the killer whale goes, I don't want to go to SeaWorld. I don't want to go there. So the octopus says, you guys got to make a promise. And so Jordan says, I'm not telling anybody, and I want to come back tomorrow. And Oliver says, I want to come back tomorrow too. You guys are like the best friends in the world. And so they swam back to where the rocks were, and Jordan got off and Oliver got off, and the octopus jumped on the rock, and he's like, was that awesome? And Jordan's like, are you kidding me? If we would have just been talking to each other, this would have been awesome. But I went for a ride on a dolphin, and I got to talk to you and talk to the dolphins, and my brother was on an orca. And the orca said, yeah, don't call me a killer whale. I hate that. That's so mean. I'm an orca. And Jordan's like, that was awesome. And the orca said to Oliver, was that cool? And Oliver was like, Oliver had a big, huge smile that was touching his ear to his ear. He's like, are you kidding me? That was like the best time I ever had in my life. Can we do this tomorrow? And they were like, sure. Come on back. We'll bring some more friends. So they left and they waved goodbye. And that was that. That was how they first met their first dolphin and their first orca. The end.